So last time I did a Nova Sorceress I had some trouble and ended up dying to Pindleskin. So I figured I'd give it a retry, and apparently that is hype as fuck, cause look at how big that crowd following me is right away. So to play this character you need to buy many mana potions. And I mean a full inventory about every 15 seconds. Seriously, Act 1 especially feels like you only spend time either finding gold for pots or buying pots, so you can farm items so you can get more gold for pots. After farming the pots for a bit we make it to the ripe old age of level 12 and spec into Nova. I put 1 point into Frost Nova so I have a bit of crowd control and the rest goes into Static Field and Nova. Cause Static Field is a synergy for Nova, it's also insanely busted. With that I make it towards the catacombs where I get stuck in a small room surrounded by scary monsters and barely make it out alive. After that I made my way to Antariel, and what I should do here is just use antidotes and static and very easily kill her. However, what I end up doing is running around in a blind panic while trying to Nova her. So not the smoothest fight I've ever had, but I did end up getting there in the end. Seriously though, just static the bosses, it's so much easier. Once I finish up the most needlessly hard Andariel fight ever, I make my way to Act 2, where I can start buying some better mana pots. Seriously, this source has a mana problem. All I hear is I need mana, I need mana, I need mana. In the rocky waste I end up encountering some beetles that give me a Husaurus belt, which is an excellent find and gets equipped immediately. Then in the Claw Viper temple the salamanders can't get up the stairs, so you can just teleport up there and ignore everything and kill them from above. For Duriel I end up doing what I'm supposed to do and just static him down and then Nova him for a few times, which makes it a much easier kill. As usual, I pick up my groceries in Act 3 and make it towards the council, where you can really start to see how powerful Nova is on non-act bosses. But luckily for act bosses we have static. Despite that though, I really need to do some serious dodging in the Mephisto fight to even make it through. Cause that man is throwing the heat today and I want none of it. After defeating Mephisto, I find what looks like a sand vagina next to the portal. Don't really need to know what to do with that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move along towards Act 4, where my old sorcerer's instincts immediately kick in again and I start teleporting way harder than I should towards the River of Flame. Realizing that I'm heavily underleveled at this point, I decide to go and farm some levels at my old friend Sabrina. And once I'm done leveling, I go for my Hell Forge, where I end up getting the absolute stone nuts. I get a perfect amethyst to craft with and an Amrune for a spirit. Literally the best I could have gotten. Usually it's pretty rare to find an Amrune. I however end up finding a second one a few minutes later in the Chaos Sanctuary, while killing one of the keepers of the 5 doorbells of hell. After shutting down 5 of his alarms, Diablo comes out to play. Just like with every other boss, we don't talk about Andariel here anymore. I easily static him and kill him. With the Diablo fight done, it is time to level up, and the best place to do that past level 25 is at Eldritch, so I start farming him. I end up finding my third Amrune of the run. Such a shame I hadn't found a Thor rune at this point, because getting my spirit at the start of Act 5 would have been amazing. However, I end up not getting a base or a Thor rune, and Anya however gives me an excellent 5 mana per kill stick, and with that in hand I head towards the Ancients, where static once again proves how stupid powerful it is. Besides the one lightning enchanted guy, I get through the Bale Whips without any trouble, and after a very short Bale fight he drops a set amulet. We all know what we want here, but will Bale give it to us? Is it a Tels? Is it a Tels? Please be a Tels? No, it's a Cathans, of course it is. So here's a quick showcase of the gear I beat normal with. It's nothing too special except for an insane 22 fire resist 10 FCR ring, which puts me at exactly perfect fire resist. The rest of the resists are a problem though, but we can fix that with some rune words. For skills we are still just going into Nova, the synergies and lightning mastery, and the one in Frost Nova for crowd control. The last thing we need to do before we go into Nightmare is getting our resist in order and get a base for our spirit. So first off the resist. To clear those up I make an Ancient's Pledge, and once we get to Nightmare I'll make a lore. And with those made I am done with normal and head towards Nightmare. For a lore I need to enter the tower and immediately get fucking spawn camped in the most evil setup tower I have ever spawned. I found a good amulet that boosts my resists some more as well. After that it's time to farm the tower. In the tower I get spawn camped so many times before I end up with a Thor rune and I'm able to make the most broken weapon you could ever want for a run like this. I make my spirit and end up with a nice 31 faster cast rate. After that I quickly shop my lore base, which totally didn't take forever or anything, and make my lore. After that I decide to level up some more, the plan basically being to just level up hard on Bale normal and then just teleport through all of Nightmare to do it again. During the level grinding I end up finding the coolest helm, an ethereal Tarn helm, 44%, so that's pretty sweet. Leveling up on Bale runs is very fast, probably even faster than just doing it in Nightmare. Lister and his minions just give so much XP, it's actually insane. And after having grinded enough, I decided that it was time to get through Nightmare. First off, Mama Smurf. Static is not as good in Nightmare as it is in normal. In Nightmare it only deals 2/3 of the total life bar, instead of getting the monsters down to 1 HP like in normal, but 2/3 is still just completely bonkers. Seriously, what were they thinking when they designed this skill? While quickly teleporting through Act 2, I realized how close the Lost City and Loot Gulane actually be to each other. It's close enough that I actually tried to teleport from the Lost City to Loot Gulane. After failing to teleport, I went on my merry way towards Duriel. On the way there, I ended up finding a Lum Rune. And one quick Duriel fight later, I go to tell Jurian the good news, who promptly blocks me from leaving. I just killed the biggest bug infestation he has ever had and he goes and blocks me. Good things come to good people, I guess. I didn't know what to do with the Lum, so I ended up making a smoke for the mercenary because he was going to need all the resist he could get for Travancore. The council tried putting up a fight, but between my mercs resist and me, they never stood a chance. The only thing I need to be careful about was the fire enchanted explosion. My res are good, so I should be able to take it, but why would I risk it? Fire enchanted are really fucking dangerous because they explode when they die, and it deals about a gazillion damage. Wouldn't be my first run to end to that, so let's avoid ending it like that again. Mephisto has pretty good lightning resists, so while it's still very easy to static him down, doing the final third of his health bar is still risky business. Between his charge bolt and his ice ball he deals a metric fuck ton of damage. When he's almost dead, my natural instincts of wearing as much MF as possible kicks in. So I go back to town to put on what I claim to be a solid, safe and very responsible amount of MF gear that puts me at no risk whatsoever. After taking 200 damage from one simple sneeze from Mephisto, I end up killing him and finding nothing. Totally worth it of course, that loot ain't grinding itself after all. With Mephisto down, I decide to upgrade my mercenary's weapon, so I head back to the counter to get the runes to make an insight for the hired help. The Hellforge ends up giving me another perfect amethyst, so it's time for another round of crafting. My gear is very solid at this point, so I decide to go and craft some gloves, cause I didn't really have any of those. I mean, those 10 light res ones really have outworn their welcome at this point. I end up crafting the sickest 220 jab skills with light res and mana after each kill gloves. All of those mods are useless to me, but I'm going to be very happy to wear 19 mana, 29 light resist, 2 mana per kill glove. And after the runs I'm muling them over to my Javazon, cause damn, those are some gloves. At Diablo I end up forgetting that I'm in Nightmare and start using Nova when he's at half health instead of when he's at a third. Pretty sloppy, but I got away with it. But even though I'm standing in the safer spot, Diablo's in a big smack my bitch up mood and just starts slapping away at my life total. With my cheeks clapped and red, I do end up defeating him though, and after looking at what I'm working with for Act 5, I decide I'm safe. I check my resist and decide that I'm basically ready for hell, so I moved along towards the Ancient. With max resist, I'm not worrying about the double fire enchanted that they spawned with, but apparently I should have been. I end up taking down Talik and he explodes all over my face. I take the full hit and end up dying. Goddamn fire enchanted are terrifying. Oh well, nothing to be done there. Feels like a cheap there, but it is what it is. The worst regret is I never got to use those 220s. Oh well, life moves on, except for my sword, cause she dead. And with that ends my second attempt at the Nova Sorceress. Thank you for watching.